I was going to do my random thoughts video here, but it looks like my head's on fire. I think I better move the camera and myself over there to the other seat. There we go, that's much better. I know, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but what I'm going to be talking about, well, I know some of what I'm going to talk about, not at the beginning. I'm going to sort of continue into other videos, other random thoughts videos, so there'll be more as time goes on. By the way, I'm not sponsored, I'm just very thirsty. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning and already it's roasting. It's very, very hot in this house and outside, so I need a drink. I think because I know what I'm going to talk about in a bit, it's sort of going to inform me of what I want to talk about at the beginning. The fact that I have a new job. Yeah, I'm a director on a movie. I'm kidding, I wish. As you may or may not be aware, I was a Tesco delivery driver. I showed that on a vlog. My Last Day it was called, and I showed what I could of my last day on that job, and I loved it. I loved being a delivery driver. I mean, yeah, I had some days where it was bad, but most of it was good. For example, when I was able to go to the Peak District all the time. I remember one day I went there 3 times in one day. No kidding. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to do that in a future Random Thoughts video. But I will talk about the transition from being a Tesco delivery driver to now a heat treatment operative again. I used to be one before. And the fact that things have changed, like how many hours I'm doing per week. I've gone from 30 hours a week, where I had, like, say for example Wednesday off, to now I'm doing 37.5 hours a week, and I don't have any days off until the weekend, which is why my video making has declined of late. Like for example Smegris, I got back into it and then I started looking for new jobs. I started going on interviews and eventually I found this new job, and I've had to transition from being a delivery driver to the heat treatment operative. A heat treatment operative, not the. Why did I say the? And because of that process, it's like making videos has been at the back of my mind. It's like that's the priority, transitioning from one job to another. So that's why I've not been making Smegris of late, and I don't know when I'm going to, which is why I started thinking I need to do a Random Thoughts video. For 2 reasons. I can explain why I've not done a Smegris, and also to let you know that I'm still around, I'm still existing, I'm still making videos when I get around to making them. As a matter of fact, I've just done a Smegris review, and I had to review 3 films to catch up, because today, it's Sunday today, so I don't know when I'm going to upload this. It'll be this week at some point. I plan on going to the cinema again today. I want to start going to the cinema more often, especially with all these new films coming out. The only problem is, because I'm going to the cinema on a weekend, everybody goes to the cinema on a weekend, and that's what I used to enjoy when I was finishing work at Tesco at like 12 o'clock. On Mondays I did 8 AM while 12 PM. I could go to the cinema straight afterwards if I wanted to. And like I said, Wednesdays were usually my day off. I could go then as well. And I've been trying to go to the cinema after work at the job I'm at now, but because I've been working 8 while 4, it's very hard to find a film that's like within, just after 4 o'clock, so I could go straight to the cinema. There was one where it was like 5:40 or something daft like that. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait that long. I mean, I've got a dog, Harley, and I can't just leave him on his own all that time. And also, usually, because I've been that busy, I'm exhausted after a shift. Honestly. That's when I've been wanting to do a Smegris. I've got a script. I've mentioned this already before, that I've had a script for about 2 months, maybe 3 months now. Sat on the side waiting to be filmed. And I get home from work, take Harley for his walk, come back and I think, right, I'm just going to have a bit of a rest and then I'm going to film a video. And I'm so tired that I'm almost dropping to sleep, and I'm like, yeah, I'm too tired, and I need more energy to film a video, which I've got right now, maybe thanks to a certain drink. So because I've got a new job, which I can't really talk much about at the moment, I can't really do much because I'm still waiting on doing a crane driver course, so I can do crane driving, and a fork truck course, so I can do some fork trucking, and they don't start until the end of this week actually. So because of that, I'm basically just following people around, helping them out, and doing what I can, like sweep up. I love sweeping up, I really do. So I do want to talk about jobs I've had in the past and how my career has developed, I guess. So I can tell you that the first ever job I ever had was as a paperboy. It was the local shop from where I lived. I was 14 at the time, and I don't really recall how I went about trying to get the job. I guess I just walked into the shop and said I'd like to be a paperboy, and I think you sign your name down so you're like on a list, and eventually once they get through that list, your name comes up, it's like, right, let's give him a call. Must have had my phone number because I remember it was a phone call that came through to the house, because we didn't have mobile phones back then, let me know that I'd got the paper round job. And it was, I'm trying to remember, I think it was the afternoon paper round, because here in Sheffield we've got the local paper called the Sheffield Star, and that's what went out in the afternoons. So I'd finish school, drop my stuff off at home, get changed, go down to the shop, get the paper, well, the papers were already in the bags ready to go, and off I went on my route. And you had this like plastic sleeve with all the addresses that, you know, were in the order that, you know, they were to go to. Be silly if it was like going to one end of the village, well, I said the village, the township as they call them, and then going to the other end and then back again. It's like dot 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 sort of thing. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm just trying to remember what kind of things happened during that time. I know I got wet a lot from the rain. I will talk about one time, because I've become apparently so good at the job that whenever somebody called in sick or they couldn't do a round, when I'd finish my round they'd ask me to go and do theirs, and so, you know, extra money, so I would do that. Which, by the way, I only got paid like £3 odd a week for 6 days. 6 days. So it was like, now I think about it, that's like 50p a round. What? Anyway, yeah, I had to do an extra drop, and it turned out I was delivering to my next door neighbour, my parents' neighbours, whom I have never got on with. They've terrorised, well, they sort of terrorised me throughout my childhood, making me do things that I didn't want to do, or telling me off for things that I didn't do and stuff like that. So I thought, I'm going to be professional, because they had a gate, so I opened the gate, made sure that the paper was wrapped up nice and tight so I could get through the letterbox without ripping it, pushed it through so it dropped to the floor, closed the letterbox, went to the gate, closed it, off I went to the next road. 2 roads up, the guy who lived at that house come running at me, screaming at me for leaving their gate open. I'm like, I didn't leave your gate up. And he literally had me by the scruff of my neck like this, well, scruff of my shirt, like threatening me. And I'm like, I'm 14, dude. 14, and you're a grown-ass man. Let me go. So he's like, oh, I'm going to report you. And he did. He went down to the shop and reported me. So when I finally finished the round, I got back to the shop, and the shopkeeper, I don't remember his name, he's like, Chris, can you come over? I need to talk to you. And I'm like, is it about so-and-so address? And he's like, yeah. I says, yeah, he's my next door neighbour. He's had it out for me for years. I says, he's telling pokies. Let me guess, he told you that I'd left his gate open? He went, yeah. I says, and what else did he tell you? He says, well, that was it. I says, oh, so he didn't tell you about chasing me up the road, grabbing me by the shirt and threatening to smack me? No, he never said that. I says, well, that's what he did. All right, well, forget it then. Just ignore it. I'm gonna. I'm like, cool. Oh, God, I've just remembered another story. I just want to apologise to my mum right now, because I don't know if you know this. And you're going to be doing this at me next time you see me. Should I say it? Oh no. Okay, I was 15 at the time, not 14. I was a little older. It was during a week, or during the school holidays anyway. So I wasn't at school. So I was hanging around with these 4 girls at the time. One of them's still my best friend now. But it wasn't her. Just letting you know, Mum, it wasn't her that did this. It was The other one beginning with J. We'll call her J. I'm sure you know who I'm on about. Her dad, he used to make his own red wine. And so J, in her infinite wisdom, during the middle of the day, decided to feed it to me. I mean, I didn't like say no and put the glass down. I did drink it. And the next few hours was a blank. I came to, sat upside down in one of their chairs, and her mum walking in saying, "You alright there, Chris?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've just got a terrible headache," which was true. I'd got a really heavy hangover, migraine, which is why I've never drunk red wine since, because I know that's what it does to me. And then as I was sort of sobering up, I'm like, "What time is it?" And they were saying, "Oh, it's like 4 something or 5 something." I'm like, "I forgot about my paper round." And before they could stop me, I'd run out of her house, down to the shop, barged in, and I'm like, "I'm sorry I'm late, I'll get my round done now." And they're like, "What are you talking about? You've already done it." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you've already done it. You came in a few hours ago and did the round." I'm like, "All right. Oh yeah, of course I did. All right." He's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've just got a massive headache," which is true. I did have a massive headache. And walked out. It turned out I'd done a paper round with the girls, completely blottoed, and I don't recall doing it at all. So yeah, sorry Mum, if you didn't already know that story. Oh man, but yeah, when I was 15, it came to that they wanted somebody to do Sunday morning paper round, which was another £3 odd, just for doing that. And I recall doing that first run, because I had to go into the township next to the one I was living in that I'd never ventured into before, and I had a trolley with 2 bags because it was that many papers, and also with it being Sunday, the papers are very, very heavy. It took me, because I kept getting lost because I didn't know where I was or where these addresses were, 4 hours to do the entire round. When I got back to the shop, there was a big panic on. Where was Chris? The shopkeeper says, "Your mum's been calling over and over asking where you were." And I'm like, "I'm here now." Yeah, it was a massive panic. But luckily, the more I did it, the more I became accustomed to that round, and I could do it within 2 hours because it was quite a big walk. The other thing I did during that time was the shopkeeper needed somebody to come in, or 2 people to come in, like first thing in the morning before the shop opened at 6, to sort out all the papers and make sure that they're all in the right bags for the the paper runs, and also that they were on the shelves. And I loved doing that because it was a £5 note that I was given each time I did that, every Sunday. So at this point I was earning like nearly £12 a week. Woo! But I enjoyed it. I remember one morning, it was freezing cold. I got to the shop way too early. I had my Walkman with me, and I was listening to Back to the Future Part 2, the soundtrack, the score by Alan Silvestri, in the phone booth to keep out of the cold until the shopkeeper showed up. And what we'd do is like go around the back where there's a bin that was locked full of the papers. You know, the people who deliver them put them in there and locked it up so that we could open it, and so nobody'd steal the papers. Yeah, it was good fun, but I only did that until I was, well, see, I left school at 16, so I was still doing it then, and then I went to a college to do some of my GCSEs again because I'd failed on quite a few of them. I decided to do maths again. I'd passed English, so I did English literature. I was doing computers and computing, but because I wasn't starting till like 9 o'clock in the morning at college, and it was only every other day, I was able to still do my paper rounds. So like I'd finish there. No, sorry, I'm misremembering even. No, yeah, I'm forgetting, misremembering. I changed my paper rounds from afternoons to morning, so I was doing the morning runs. So I was no longer delivering the Sheffield Star, I was delivering all the, you know, like Daily Star and Mirror and all them. So I'd do that run in the morning, then go to college. I was there for a year, I finished college, I was off for another few months before I started another college. But this one was going to be, the college I was going to was called Parson Cross, and it was literally the other side of Sheffield. I had set off early, which meant I could no longer do my paper rounds, which was fair enough. I was 17 by this time, so I had to go in and say, "Look, you know, my time's done. I've done my time. I can't do it anymore." They were sad to see me go, but I had to finish that career, my paper round career. But yeah, I'd done it all. The afternoon runs, the morning runs, the Sunday piling up the papers and getting them put in the right place. Yeah, I did it all, and I really enjoyed doing that job. I did. Yeah, I'm gonna end here. I will talk about more of my career as time goes on, especially Parson Cross College, because I actually did do a job there for a little while. I will talk about that later. It's another video, on another video. If I don't, remind me. Oh well, right, I'm gonna sign off now. Like I say, I will do more of these videos and talk about my career as it progressed in time. And I don't actually recall anything else from my paper round time, but I think I've talked enough anyway. And now I'm rambling, so I'm going to go. All that's left for me to say is thank you for watching and subscribing if you have, and liking this video if you did. Until the next time, peace out. I've just remembered the other thing I did on that day when I got blottoed. I used to be able to jump over the fences that stop cyclists from going down pathways, and this one day I decided to jump over it, except I did it wrong and I went like face down to the floor, and now I have, I don't know if I can show you, I don't even know which side it's on, but I've got a scar on the side of my nostril. I believe it's right here. It's very small and minuscule now. But yeah, I went to the floor with my face. It hurt a lot. And just so you know, I never tried it again.